Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here, and it's so good to see you for our question of the week here. You'll notice there's a new doggy uh, bed behind me. Yes, we do have a new dog, and she has a wonderful angel called Daisy. Those of you who know that our Daisy left us a few months ago. Hello, Judith. Good to see you. She's sending us all love and sunshine. Well, we just had the sunshine break through here, but it's still cold. It was like down in the 40s earlier. You'll see Lily wandering. That's our little kitty here. And Lily's, well, she's going to just wander here. Um, and Judith says, good to be here. Well, we're glad you're here, Judith. Just real quick to give you the story, Lily, who is our 20-plus-year-old kitty, now has a new sister thanks to Daisy the Angel. And this is Piper. She's a little 17-pound, 9-year-old Sheltie. And we have had Shelties in the past. So we decided to go ahead and take her. And I told a little bit of the story last week, the magic of how it all came together. Right now, I'm keeping them separate just to make sure that Piper doesn't hurt Lily. Because she's a little scared of Lily right now. So Piper was in here earlier. Now it's Lily's time to be in here with me. And so we accept all your prayers and well wishes about Piper and Lily. She seems to be adjusting well. And for that, we're really, really grateful. We're just being a little extra cautious with introducing. Well, they've been introduced, Lily and Piper, but keeping them apart for now. Hello, Juliet. She says, good afternoon. Congratulations on being a dog mom again. Thank you. We did miss Daisy. We did miss having a dog. And I didn't think we would be ready quite this soon. But, you know, when magic happens, you just have to kind of go with the flow, don't you, and accept it. Our question this week, I'm going to go ahead and get started because it's really rather complicated. And so I wrote out, normally I would just pull the questions out of what, if a person writes me a full paragraph or so, I normally just pull the questions out. But in this case, it felt I needed to read all of the whole comment as well as the two questions involved, because the whole comment itself is a question. So here we go. So many people who crusade for what they see as injustice do not hesitate to lie or deceive others in order to accomplish their goal of righting that wrong. In other words, they believe that the ends justify the means. This is equally prevalent on both sides of the political spectrum. I find that the younger generation in particular does not have a moral issue with lying or even with breaking rules that they believe to be unjust. For those of us who are not comfortable with that perceived self-righteousness, is it enough for us to simply concentrate on upholding our own ethical standards in our lives and simply look away from others' behavior? The latter behavior is not without negative consequences in the world, such as unfairly tarnishing the reputation of others or degrading respect for truth in general. Is it selfish to focus on our own spiritual legacy and not even call out hypocrisy in others? Thank you for Phillips and your wisdom. Philip begins by saying, as we ponder all that is said, as well as the two specific questions, we feel the unease of the writer. It is this we wish all to know. Pain is caused by others to the human only as the heart allows it to be so. As we have often reminded you, you are spiritual beings having a human experience. To traverse the human world requires balance of the spiritual with the human experience. And I must say, when I read the person's questions, and you'll see Lily walking around back there, my heart hurt. And so I want the questioner, the writer, to know we're holding your heart in our hearts, because we feel that there is some pain there. And Philip has basically saying the same thing. So you've got a lot of people and a lot of spirits holding your heart and helping you to heal. And we all need that healing, don't we? Okay, here we go on. Phillip says, there are those who are to hide from the human world and spend their lives in prayer or meditation. And there are those who are to be creating the chaos. And there are those who are to find the balance of both. It may be on my blog. I remember writing an article a while back, The Calling, Peacemakers or Warriors. And it was really saying we need both. We need the peacemakers and we need the warriors. And we get to decide which we are. I'll see if I can find that on the blog and put a link to it. If not, just go to my blog, my website. The blog is on there and you might be able to find it. Or it might have been in the newsletter. Honestly, I don't remember right now. Okay, Phillip goes on to say, to learn for one's life, their expression in the physical world, is to remember their soul contract. To learn of one's soul contract, one begins with the inquiry, followed by a study of the life patterns, and then study of that which brings forth the healing for the soul's mission to go forth. For example, if one is to spend their life only in the study of the spiritual, if they look back on their life, they will see the patterns that confirms this. They may notice as a child, they spent much time alone and were often curious about sacred text and expressions. They may have had little interest in the outside world and felt drawn toward nature and quiet. I will say for me, as I was growing up, I had a lot of time alone. I have an older brother, and we were raised together when we were very young. And then I lived with my grandparents from the time I was about 2.5, maybe 2.5, and lived there through first grade. So I would have been 6 at the end of first grade, and then lived there every summer until I was in high school, whereas my brother then lived with my mother. So I lived with my grandparents in the country and had a lot of time alone, being raised as an only child. But it wasn't my life to spend it in a monastery or an ashram or a nunnery. It was my life to work out the world. So while I also had that time alone, my pattern was also to question different aspects of religions. It was also, I used to pretend that I was on stage talking to people. That was my playground. So guess what? If we look back at our patterns in our lives, we'll figure out our soul contract. Phillip goes on to say, by looking at the patterns of one's life, one can discern the soul's mission. For most, the soul's mission requires a balance of the human life's messiness, and the spirit's pull. For most, the soul's mission requires a balance of the human life's messiness and the spirit's pull. We remind you that what is being observed or felt from human experience must be looked at first by the observer or the one who is interacting as their experience. By this, we mean you can only experience that which comes through you. To see fear, you must know fear. To see love, you must first know love. To grow spiritually, you must first recognize that which you experience is given to you to allow you to look within and heal that which needs healing, or to celebrate that which is to be celebrated. The spiritual journey is to experience life in all its dimensions. As one grows in the soul's journey through multiple human lives, the soul, as expressed as the human, also grows. Love and all its expressions grow stronger than fear and all its expressions. Is it not true then that one must recognize, then understand the human behavior before one can change it? This begins by looking within, healing that within, which then heals the outer world. To say it is selfish to concentrate on the spiritual journey is to say one is still involved in the world, while also reaching toward the greater involvement with their spiritual life. There are times when world involvement prevails and times when withdrawing from the world is necessary. We remind you balance is required. In human growth, as in spiritual growth, wisdom comes with maturity. This said, we also remind you that there are many young people who are old souls and many advanced age humans who are young souls. The only spiritual legacy to be is love. Be concerned not with the legacy, and instead be the one who lives love now. Loving all does not require acceptance of all behaviors. Loving all requires the inward seeing, forgiving, and loving one's self. I'm going to repeat that paragraph. Loving all does not require acceptance of all behaviors. Loving all requires the inward seeing, forgiving, and loving oneself. As you truly love yourself, you will know you bring healing to the world. This then is the soul's mission of all, regardless of the form of expression of the soul's mission in human life. If one feels a pull to their spiritual life and away from the human experiences, one should embark on this journey. They will be led to the human experiences that allow them to grow spiritually. So what Phillip is saying is the choice is ours. And it depends upon our soul's mission, which we can figure out with help often, or figure out by looking at our life patterns. What are the patterns in our world? And then he goes on to say, the only spiritual legacy to be is love. Be concerned not with the legacy, and instead be the one who lives love now. As we commit to that spiritual journey, our human experiences will force us to look within and heal that within, which then heals that without. Hello, Lexi Luna. She says, good afternoon, Diana, Phillip, and all watching. Hope your Friday is absolutely fabulous. Sending lots of love and positive vibes to all. Thank you. We're going to get a message now. One of my books, The Master's Book of Answers by Phillip, as you know, it's just an oracle book, and we just flip through and we'll open to any page. So here we go. There we go. It's interesting. I'm hearing right, but I'm hearing left is also important. And I'm hearing them. I may have to do this one more time. There may be another message coming, but let's see. Okay. This, if you heard right, we're in sync. And this is the message for everyone. If you heard left, that's a message you have to pay attention to. So right says, Beethoven was without hearing, and yet he heard music. Beethoven was without hearing, and yet he heard music. That goes right along with our spiritual journey. Not everybody is going to experience life the same way. Not everyone's going to hear the same music that I hear, or I may not hear the same music you hear. Yet we all hear music. If you heard left, here's a message for you. Even free rent cost. Even free rent cost. So everything has a cost. And remember, Beethoven was without hearing, and yet he heard music. And I do still feel there's another message here. There we go. And again, I'm hearing right. Do you not pass into sleep when your body is tired and your mind is in need of rest? Will you not then pass into death when your body is weary and your mind depleted? I think that really speaks to the legacy and what Phillip is saying. Don't worry about the legacy. Just live love now. And I don't think that left is all that important for this second run through. I think it was the free rent cost, but I will read it. So where is it written on your birth certificate that this one shall have an easy life? Keep in mind, my friends. And by the way, this is not saying you're getting ready to die. That's not, and now Lily is saying, correct. That's correct, Mom. This is not saying you're getting ready to die by any means. It is merely saying Let the legacy be what you live today, and live today. Live love. That's not to say, when Phillip says that, when I say that, please know I am so far from perfect. I am so far from living love 100% of the time. It's about catching ourselves. It's about awareness of our thoughts, our words, our deeds. It's about being able to recognize when we're impatient. It's about being able to recognize when we're looking at the other and judging them, and able to say, I can love you as your spirit, but I'm not going to let you get by with that. It's about being able to say, I see your behavior, and so I'm going to look at my behavior. I see how angry you are, and I'm going to look at my own angers and heal that, because I know as I heal my anger, that's creating a pathway for you to heal yours. So, my friend, believe me, this is not about being perfect. It is about growing. And that's why we're here, to hold each other's hands as we grow. Thank you, Judith. Judith says thank you. Thank you, Judith. Thank you all, Judith and Juliet and Lexi. I'm so glad you were able to come live. Thank you. For those who missed us live, hopefully next week I will do the predictions. By the way, Phillip was right, wasn't he? I'm not sure exactly. He may have used the word indicted against our former president. I'm not sure exactly what words he used, but for those of you, I think everybody knows by now, but the AG of New York has moved. We'll just leave it there. So Phillip tends to be right. The energy can shift. So let's see what he has to say for October. I'll get to that this coming week. Thank you, my friends. I love you. Thank you for the love you sent for Lily and for Piper. And thank you for the love you receive from us and spread to the world. Together, we can make it better. I love you. I love you. Thank you.